Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we have not done an election prediction on this channel in a while. We haven't done a non-election night election prediction since I believe back in early July it was. So we haven't done a prediction blitz in a long time. I felt like with the midterms heating up and the fact that it's been a while that we should get into one. Also, I don't really have any other video ideas today. It's been a slow couple of days in the news besides the Kyle verdict, and I already did a couple videos on that already. So I thought we would do a Senate election prediction in this video because I feel like it's important. Has a whole lot changed since last time? Not necessarily in terms of seats flipping from red to blue and blue to red, but still different candidates are rising in the polls and it could affect the margins. And I just wanted to fill this map out here to see where things truly stand less than 1 year away from the midterms. But first, a word from our sponsors over at Raid Shadow Legends. Let me tell you a little secret about a free hidden gem that costs you nothing, but makes your life a million times better. It also happens to be the greatest mobile game of all time, Raid Shadow Legends. It's got a ton of champions, over 600 now. All of those champions come from unique factions with their own history in the world of Teleria. My favorite being Chinoru, who comes from the Shadowkin faction and is great at battles. Today, let's meet Fantasy's favorite bad guys, the Orcs. Orcs get a bad rap in Fantasy, but in Raid, they're not all bad. While they were created by the Dark Lord Cyroth, they have a really good reason to not like humans. After a brutal war fought against the Banner Lords, High Elves, and Sacred Order, their lands were annexed, forcing most Orc clans to become nomadic. Now, they're mostly just trying to survive. Use my links below to download Raid yourself to your mobile phone or PC. What I like most about the game is that the gameplay is fun, the gameplay is easy, and that there are a lot of battles. And there's a ton happening in Raid this month. They've got special events every single day, but the big update coming this month is the Guardian Ring. It's a huge feature that gives you a load of new ways to use your champions, including a whole faction Guardian system, a new way to get legendary champions you've missed out on, and an entirely new way to upgrade your favorite champions. With all these updates, Raid has never been in a better place, and there are some more giant updates right around the corner. If you were on the fence before, now's the perfect time to get started. And if you want a huge head start, all you have to do is hit the link in the description or scan the QR code at the top of the screen, and you'll get an epic hero, 200k silver, an XP boost, an energy refill, and one ancient shard so you can summon the epic champion Chinoru as soon as you get in game. The rewards will be only available for the next 30 days and only for new players, so what are you waiting for? Get started today, good luck, and I'll see you there. Alright, so without further ado, I wanted to fill out all of the safe Republican and safe Democrat seats here. North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, some of these states here in the South and the Deep South here are going to be safe red. Missouri will have a contested primary, but it is likely to remain Republican no matter what. South Carolina as well, Utah, Idaho, and the state of Alaska, which would likely come down to two Republicans potentially, between Kelly Tshibaka and the weak centrist known as Lisa Murkowski. So that's 44. Iowa will likely be safe as well because Chuck Grassley's running at the ripe old age of whatever. So add Iowa to the safe column, as well as the state of Ohio, which is also going to have a contested primary, but it's probably going to be 10 plus points no matter who runs. Tim Ryan is an awful candidate, and it's very likely that even if Republicans nominate one of the weaker candidates up front, that they still will win by close to 10, if not over 10 percentage points. So on the Democrat side, California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, Illinois, Vermont, which again, maybe Phil Scott runs for the seat, but I can't see him winning as a Republican. Maybe as like an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, because we know that Patrick Leahy is retiring. It's the only Democrat Senate retirement so far, but still, no matter what, that seat's going to go blue. And honestly, I hope Phil Scott loses if he does run as a Republican, because he's just that bad. In fact, he's arguably worse than the average Vermont Democrat as a whole, by the way. Connecticut, New York will be safe Democrat as well. And I want to move on to the states that will be in the likely column, but first, I think that Marco Rubio in Florida, he'll probably win by over 10 percentage points. As of now, we're going to be putting Florida in the safe Republican column as well. So Republicans at 47 seats, Democrats at 44. So the reason why I did not put Maryland as safe Democrat is because Governor Larry Hogan is term limited, and speculation says he may end up running as a independent, potentially one who caucuses with the Democrats. So that could make things interesting, but I still believe the race is going to go in Democrat hands. I think that it will be likely Democrat, if not safe. And if Hogan runs as a Republican, it still probably would end up being safe. So 47-45. We'll be moving to the likely Republican states. We could start off with Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Ron Johnson. And in 2020, this was a fluke. You can call it a fluke. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but essentially a virtual tie for all intents and purposes in a horrible environment, D plus 4.5, which we're looking at R plus 4.5. You have an incumbent, Ron Johnson, probably going to run against some obscure statewide Democrat official with some far left tendencies. He will likely win by more than 5 points. If he does not run, it's still probably going to be at least lean Republican, but for right now, we're going to put it in the likely column. Ron Johnson, strong incumbent, fairly popular, has appeal to the rural Trump base, but also has appeal to the traditional Republican strongholds that kind of waned in terms of Trump's margin in them, the WOW counties. So definitely Democrats in Wisconsin going all in on defending those who attacked Kyle in Kenosha. Tony Evers is essentially shilling for these people in his statements. And it just shows that this is not a party who is really playing to even win. Tony Evers, probably the second most vulnerable Democrat governor besides Laura Kelly down in Kansas. So 48-45. It's also important that we get to the lean states as well before we get to the very close razor-thin tilt states. Colorado, I expect this one to potentially be likely. Cory Gardner still might run. If he does, I do believe it would be in the lean Democrat column. I really do. As we know, we see these massive Republican swings. If it is going to be like an R plus 5, R plus 6 national environment, it's going to be close. Democrats still likely going to hold on. Again, Colorado has a massive vote by mail system. Democrats were winning some of these, 2021 statewide initiatives, but keep in mind, Cory Gardner, he did keep things close. He kept things within a likely margin. He outperformed Trump by 5 points in a D plus 4.5 environment. Bennett possibly could, end up beating him by around 4 or 5 points when it's all said and done. So I'm going to put it as lean Democrat for right now. Now it's time to focus on the lean Republican states. We're seeing a suburban reversion, and that's good news for Republicans in a place like Arizona and a place like Georgia. And Herschel Walker is running a great campaign. And I do believe he will do a little bit better in those suburbs, partially due to turnout. We see Republicans winning a lot of special elections, even in the Atlanta suburbs. And that's a good news in terms of Republicans, especially as they have the energy factor. Georgia in the long term is totally screwed demographically, but Herschel Walker may end up being Georgia's last Republican senator. I do believe that he is going to win. Warnock, again, kind of won on a fluke. Kelly Loeffler being an awful candidate. He had everything going for him. McConnell dropped the ball, and he was able to win. However, the ball's going to be carried to the end zone by Herschel Walker come next fall. So North Carolina, Ted Budd, solid candidate. Democrats probably not even going to try as much in this race, especially as they'll be frantically focusing on Pennsylvania and Arizona, trying to hold the Senate. So North Carolina, honestly, in their minds, it might be an afterthought, but still, Ted Budd is a solid candidate. He has the Trump backing. He was arguably one of the more America First representatives in the North Carolina Congressional Caucus, and he's got statewide appeal, but still has some major endorsements, especially Donald Trump's endorsements. So North Carolina, I do believe that this one will stay Republican, probably by a lean margin, even in wake of the current senator in that seat, Burr's scandals. So that's already 50. They get one more seat, and they are going to win the Senate. And I believe Pennsylvania, I said it's ground zero for the midterms, taking back the Senate. And you look at what's been going on. They not only won that statewide referendum, those two referendums statewide, which essentially restricted the powers of Governor Wolf regarding the mandates, But look at this. Two statewide elections, roughly 2.7 million voters turned out in 2021 for the statewide Supreme Court elections. Republicans won one of them by 3. They won the other one by close to 10. And Republicans seem to have a unique situation in their primary. I mean, Sean Parnell may have some scandals, but they'll likely be proven false. But apparently their backup plan is Dr. Oz. For some reason, Dr. Oz is running for Senate in Pennsylvania. It's very interesting to see if that happens. I don't know. I don't really know what his platform is going to be. I support Parnell, but if the scandals really do bring him down, they do actually have a bench in Pennsylvania that could take the mantle, and maybe Dr. Oz will bring that star power. But either way, Lamb is overrated. Fetterman is overrated. Fetterman, I think, is arguably the draft bust candidate that the Democrats are pushing. This guy that they're like, oh, he's got great optics. He's big dude equals safety. Not so much. I mean, the guy literally has a lot of skeletons in his closet, both personally and politically speaking. So I think Pennsylvania, it's going to be a lean Republican state when it's all said and done. Democrats are really hedging their bets on Fetterman. I don't think it's going to play out too well, especially as you will have a divided primary field. So New Hampshire, Democrats are saying, oh, it's going to be safe Democrat now because Sununu's not running. But they failed to mention the fact that Maggie Hassan is not Jean Shaheen. She has a very low approval rating as we speak. And Chris Sununu's actually like more conservative, older brother seems to be interested in running for that seat. Either way, I think Republicans are going to win if that happens. And if it doesn't happen because of the national environment, I think they will win New Hampshire. I think it would be lean with Sununu's brother. I think it would be tilt without. So right now I'm going to put it as tilt because he hasn't announced, but I still think it's going to go red. So we have Arizona and we have Nevada. Arizona is an interesting primary. You're going to have Mark Brnovich, the establishment pick. You're going to have Blake Masters, the anti-establishment pick that still has a lot of backing from establishmentarian figures. Some people may say it's, Populist Inc. or whatever, but either way, it's far better than Brnovich, who decided to completely drop the ball in the post-election process. And Masters, unlike his tealist counterpart in Ohio, has actually supported Donald Trump since day one. Honestly, I think Blake Masters is going to get the nomination. I do believe that he is going to end up winning, probably by a lean margin over Mark Kelly. So that brings us to Nevada. You have Adam Laxalt, another character that a lot of people said, just like Herschel Walker, oh, he's going to be a terrible candidate, but has actually ran a fairly solid campaign. The Democrats in Nevada are crumbling. The Reid machine is crumbling. They dummy-mandered their way potentially into having 0 congressional seats after the 2022 midterms. And honestly, I think Nevada is another state that is going to be lean Republican or so. Republicans finally getting their act together in Nevada. So 54 to 46. Not a whole lot has changed in terms of the seat count. I think I flipped Nevada from my last prediction to Republican, but still, Republicans are shoring up a lot of these races into the likely lean or safe column. And honestly, they're going to be redirecting more of their resources to places like New Hampshire or maybe even Colorado. And they could end up being the close races instead of places like Pennsylvania and Georgia, which a couple of months ago we thought would be some of the closest races in the House. So we'll have to see when it's all said and done. We still have a year to go, but Republicans in a fairly good shape ahead of the 2022 midterms. So as anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.